Well, you're the host of a pretty popular game show, and so you should be tired. You should be tired of your success.
I like that.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on the great debate. It is about time we start arguing about really important things. And secondly, what a great career you have had. I am a huge Mystery Science Theater fan, and being the voice of Tom Servo is certainly something for me to be jealous of.
You do have a silky smooth voice, so I can see why you wanted to throw your name into the hat.
Thank you so much. Anyway, talk to me a little bit about the great debate, because you've got not only great questions and great subjects that you're talking about, you've got some of the greatest improv comedians of all time participating.
Yes, I mean it's well, first of all, I got to say it's a blast, and I think that's exactly how people will feel when they watch it. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty simple, thing that we're doing in the sense that we got a bunch of hilarious people together and put them in a room. Back when that was allowed. So basically, yeah. So basically, we're delving into all of these silly topics, all of these things that we love from the whole world of, superhero movies, sci-fi, comic books, fantasy, just all of these different things. So we have people like Aisha Tyler, Orlando Jones, Jonah Ray, Reggie Watts, some really funny, great people that have some really funny and great opinions about all of these different things. So we just duke it out for the crown of nerddom.
Is hosting a game show different from, let's say, an acting gig or stand-up comedy? Is there a lot of things you need to know as a host?
I mean, I would think that if acting and stand-up were on two different sides of a spectrum, I would say that hosting is right in the middle. Because in a way, you're performing, but the performance is that you're being yourself, So it's like I wasn't playing a character. I was just being myself. And luckily with this show, I was usually surrounded by a group of friends, and people I didn't know were incredibly friendly. And now I would hope that they would consider me a friend. So it's like, sure, there's, I have duties, and I kind of had to keep everyone civil, if you will, and keep it moving. So, but I'm doing it as myself, so at least I have that. Like everything I said was not scripted.
So far on the show, and I don't want to give away any spoilers on the show, but what's the biggest debate you've had so far?
The biggest? Oof. I don't know that there's one debate that is the biggest. Every episode ends with a big debate, sort of a hot topic, if you will, and everyone who started on the episode doesn't end up in that last debate. We kind of narrow it down to the two winners, if you will. So usually that last debate is the most controversial out of all the different topics we talked about, but I don't want to necessarily give those away.
Well, I do know there was an argument about who's the worst boss, the Joker or
Darth Vader. Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, yeah. So what do you think? Who would you not want to work for?
Well, I think that they both are horrible bosses. You're going to have a hard time complaining to HR, but they both have different qualities. I mean, obviously the Joker is wildly unpredictable. I've heard people say that at least you can read his face and you can't even see Darth Vader's face, but I disagree with that. I think the Joker is always, stuck in some kind of maniacal smile, so it's really hard to tell how he feels when everything is funny to him. But then with Darth Vader, if you're working for Darth Vader, you are on a spaceship, so you can't go anywhere. It's very hard to get away from him. However, something like Death Star is huge, and I would assume that there's a lot of janitor's closets. that you can just sneak into if you see Vader coming. Whereas with the Joker, if you work for him, you're like a group of 6 to 10 people. So he's definitely going to know who you are, unless, of course, he has everybody wearing clown masks. So I could see how either of them would be horrible, but I personally, I would think that the Joker would be a worse boss because he's harder to get away from. Whereas with Vader, when you watch Star Wars, lots of background extras who he never even looks at. That's where I would hope that I would be.
Yeah, somewhere in middle management somewhere, and just avoid
not even
them
that
completely.
much. Not even that much responsibility. I want, if I mess up, I want the person who I answer to get choked out. You know what I mean? By the dark side, not me.
I would think I would qualify that and say which Joker would be the worst one, because I think I'd like to work for Cesar Romero, but maybe not Jack Nicholson.
Definitely, I can see that. Yeah, Cesar Romero was at least didn't run as much. I feel like Cesar Romero very kind of sauntered into scenes.
He was much better dressed.
Yeah, I mean, those are the iconic Jokers. You got Cesar Romero, you got Jack Nicholson, obviously, you got Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, and the various animated Jokers, which I think, speaking of Star Wars, they're all based off
Mark
of
Hamill.
Mark Hamill. So all of these Jokers are scary. I guess I wouldn't want to work for that Heath Ledger Joker. That's definitely what I'd want to avoid.
Are you still doing tours? Are you doing stand-up everywhere?
I am not. I know that some places are starting to do shows again, but I'm not doing that. I do every now and then do a stand-up show this way, over some sort of internet contraption to an audience that's also sitting at home. It's weird, but good. I mean, stand-up is meant to be a live event, and all stand-ups have written our material to be interactive with an audience. It's a live conversation, you could say, give and a take. So in this way, you don't hear the laughter, or all the laughs are in different places, and the only thing that it really reveals is who does and doesn't have really fast Wi-Fi.
Is there one particular thing that you really, really enjoy? Is that the live audience stuff? Is that dramatic acting? What turns you on the most?
Wow. I mean, they're also different. I do think that stand-up is ultimately has the crown in that kingdom. It's unlike anything else, and in a lot of ways, it's all of my skill sets put into one place. I would consider myself a creature of live performance. I like to be in the room with people. I like to be able to look in people's faces. I like to be able to not only hear the laughs, but hear the gasps. Hear the times that the audience is uncomfortable. So that's what I love about stand-up, is that it's a live collaboration with the audience. It's interactive, and I miss it. And it'll be back. It's back already. I'm not going, but at some point I will.
Well, I appreciate your time this morning. Again, we need laughter, and we need great game shows like this to keep us occupied as well. The Great Debate is on Sci-Fi Wire. It is just a terrifically fun time for all us geeks to get together and just argue about something important.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy everything else.
Thank you, Baron. Have a great, great day.
You too.